The United Kingdom is reeling from the scandal surrounding the evacuation of British troops and diplomatic personnel from Afghanistan in 2021. A year after the Western coalition forces fled the country taken over by the Taliban, a British official sent an email with an attachment containing the data of nearly 19,000 people, mainly Afghans who had cooperated with the British services, but also British intelligence agents and their informants. As a result, London organized a secret rescue operation, the details of which have just come to light. The disastrous evacuation from Kabul in August 2021 will forever be remembered as one of the US Armed Forces' darkest days. Chaos reigned as the Biden administration struggled to keep up. Afghans who had helped track down and eliminate terrorist militias for years were abandoned to the mercy of the Taliban. Among them were Western intelligence contacts, translators, informants, as well as their families. The British, the main force supporting the United States in Afghanistan, decided to compile a list of those whom they had failed to evacuate from the country before the Taliban captured Kabul. And this is where the story of possibly the greatest ever blunder by British intelligence services begins.
In February 2022, 10 months after the then Defence Secretary Ben Wallace introduced the Afghan relocations and assistance policy, 6 months after the fall of Kabul, a defence official emailed an Arab caseworking file outside of authorised government systems. ARAP, as the House knows, is the resettlement scheme that this country established for Afghan citizens who worked for or with our UK armed forces over the combat years of Afghanistan. Now, this official mistakenly believed that they were sending the names of 150 applicants. However, the spreadsheet in fact contained personal information associated to 18,714 Afghans who had applied either to the ex gratia or the ARAP scheme on or before the 7th of January 2022.
Worse still, UK authorities were unaware of the mishap until August 2023, when excerpts from the list began to appear on social media. It was then that the evacuation procedure, which is supposed to remain a secret from the world, was launched in a panic.
Many might find the government's current position somewhat surprising. They initially rushed to court to obtain an injunction, then a super injunction, to prevent the disclosure of this information by the media, precisely because of the risk that it posed to those affected. Now, somewhat curiously, some may consider, they're saying, well, there isn't a risk. Well, there are many credible media reports of those that have been persecuted by the Taliban in Afghanistan because of the help they provided to international forces, including UK, Australian and US forces.
The British government's disclosure of the information was a move ahead of the publication of several editorial offices that have been working on the subject for many months. According to journalists' findings, the UK government secretly smuggled Afghans across borders and transported them to the British Isles, offering them asylum. Almost 5,000 people have already been transferred, and another 6,000 are being prepared for evacuation. However, what shocks the public most is the cost of this operation, estimated at over £800 million.
So why don't we go through his end-of-term scorecard? Yeah. The economy is contracting. Inflation, highest in the G7. Unemployment, up every month under this government. Spending, out of control. Borrowing costs, more expensive than Greece. And this is just the first year, Mr. Speaker. The Labour Party should be ashamed of what it is doing to the country.
The British government's disclosure of the information was a move ahead of the publication of several editorial offices that have been working on the subject for many months. According to journalists' findings, the UK government secretly smuggled Afghans across borders and transported them to the British Isles, offering them asylum. Almost 5,000 people have already been transferred, and another 6,000 are being prepared for evacuation. However, what shocks the public most is the cost of this operation, estimated at over £800 million.